The place and time in which we were born can determine the course of our lives forever. But is that just it? Don't we have a choice to change this? I was born in Syria. I lived my whole life there until I finished college. Staying in Syria would mean that I had to join the army and take part in that dirty war, and that was absolutely not a choice for me. Therefore, in 2015, I chose to leave the country. At that time, having a visa was almost impossible for a Syrian. Luckily, I ended up getting a visa to Ireland. In theory, I knew about Ireland and how kind and loving the Irish people are, but it was still a jump to the unknown, as I had never traveled that far from Syria. The farthest was to Lebanon, so it was an uncharted journey. The plan was to leave my home country, but no plans whatsoever once I'm out of it. I sought asylum at Dublin Airport, and I was transferred to a temporary accommodation. I was advised to start working on some paperwork so I can attain a recognized refugee status, which takes a long time to process. But without it, I wouldn't be able to legally work in the state. So my only choice was to build games and make music, because these were the things I always loved and spent time doing. And that's what happened. In a couple of months' time, I was able to publish my first mobile game and composed and recorded its music. It was totally an original game and a great starting point and a learning curve when it comes to building a project from scratch, monetizing it with ads, and promoting it online and all that stuff. However, after I received my refugee status in Ireland, naturally, I started seeking work and job opportunities, as I needed immediate income to be able to live there comfortably. Fortunately, I was able to secure a contract job at Facebook Dublin right after having my residence permit in hand. Long story short, I changed jobs so often, from Facebook to Apple to Google, and finally to LinkedIn. I even started my own e-commerce store back in 2016. However, there was something always holding me back. Basically, I couldn't really adjust without doing what I love, without working on something close to my heart. Hence, in 2020, I decided to leave everything behind and build a new life doing the things I'm passionate about, coming closer to my dreams and building the vision that I want. The issue is, once you've been accustomed to a 9-to-5 job for some time, it kinda gets tricky once you're out of it. So I started experimenting with different scopes, from playing my guitar and publishing YouTube videos, to developing games and even creating algorithms that trade stocks and forex. I was all over the place. But at the same time, I had this urge to know the very essence of life, human nature and suffering, with a great sense of wonder towards the cosmos. So I started meditating constantly, most of my time, day in, day out, until something unexpected happened. Time completely stopped for me. I was no longer there as a person. I suddenly started looking at everything with fresh eyes and a loving heart. Before that, it felt that I was in a deep sleep, rather in a coma. And suddenly, I became awake and aware of the whole game of life. And since then, I started to bloom with joy and ecstasy. However, being unemployed again, I needed to find something that can pay the bills. And I was later attracted to the blockchain and NFTs. The technology behind it fascinated me, since it contained different aspects that I like, whether it's coding, game development, or music in the form of NFTs. So I started working on a gaming project that involves the blockchain. In June 2021, I built Falafel Coin, a cryptocurrency that allows people to trade and even earn falafel tokens through a mobile game I built called Hummus and Dragons, which was the first crypto game to officially get listed on mobile stores such as the Apple App Store. I did everything on my own, from game development and music to marketing and customer service. At that time, I felt that I was doing something worthwhile. But after some time, I couldn't keep up with the industry. I felt I had to deceive people in one way or another to earn money. I don't know, but it felt unnatural. Although it's common and even socially acceptable to see companies tricking people in some proportion to drive sales and revenue. But to me, especially after I was brought into the world of meditation, I couldn't really exploit people just to sell products. I was so full of love and joy that I only wanted to share that authentically with others. Misguiding people felt like misguiding myself. And I guess it was a sign that I'm in the right place spiritually, but of course not financially. I became innocent to the point I wouldn't do anything for the sake of money alone. It has to be coming from the inside out, and then I could think of it that way. Now I'm left with what I love, music and meditation. And I know that I have to share what's there in my heart because so many people are suffering. And I do know that I can bring some light and help them get through that by love, music, and meditation. I know these terms are ambiguous, so to put them quickly, by love, I mean living by heart, not getting dictated by your thought processes, situations, and social drama. Coming to meditation, all I can say is heart without awareness is not so good. So meditation means the capacity to see things the way they are. Your heart gives you heat and intensity to become active outside, while meditation cools you down, soothes you so you don't get burned by your passion. Now music here is the byproduct of having both qualities. Love brings momentum. Consciousness brings harmony and puts things in tune. So music is important. It's one of the most tangible ways to show that there is something beyond science, words, and human logic. It ends here. I have no plan whatsoever. I will just start sharing my total being with you. If you are suffering in one way or another, stick around. My hope is to trigger something in you the same way it was triggered in me. Then, there will be no you or me, but only love, grace, and unity.